Yes, Your Honor, requesting the court to proceed in default and to issue a final order. Your Honor, the testimony will be that Mr. Beck is in Oklahoma. I think it's Oklahoma City. And due to being so far away, despite what's going to be requested, I'm asking the court to proceed and not get an ad litem involved in this. So the state is asking the court to use minimum wage presumption for Oklahoma, which is the same as Texas. 3 children in, no children out that we're aware of. So that 330, the guideline child support, and 57, the medical. The testimony will be that there's government health coverage. Testimony will be that the parties separated September of 2023, so requesting retroactive support beginning October of 2023 to the present day. So 12 months, $4,164, and the state will request repayment of $75 a month. The state is requesting non-disclosure and anything else that the court finds is appropriate. The request from Ms. Fauver, which the state takes no position on, is going to be for supervised visitation only, and I believe her testimony will be that Mr. Fauver has issues with methamphetamine and other drugs, and that he's been violent repeatedly. I think the most recent incident being while she was pregnant with their child now. And there'll also be testimony that there's a sister of his who's especially problematic, and I believe the request will be that the sister not be allowed to accompany him on visits, and that he be required to give her some kind of notice so she can plan accordingly. Her mother is willing to supervise the visits at the mother's residence, but it's a little ways away. Miss Fauver being in Bell County, the mother lives in McLennan County, so that's the reason for the request for the notice. And then I believe she'll also be requesting that Mr. Beck be ordered not to be under the influence of drugs or alcohol when he exercises visitation. And I think that's it, Your Honor.
All right, let's get some testimony, and let's get some long arm jurisdiction things testimony also. Make sure I got everything locked up and I can proceed on this one. Truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth will help you.
Yes, I do.
All right, ma'am, you're officially on oath, and I'll allow the state to go ahead and proceed, and we'll see if we can do this as a final, Mr. Down, because you're asking a lot for me to do for a final and not give Dad the rights under conservatorship. I'm a little hesitant to do that without an ad litem. So, but get some testimony from her and whether or not he has any arrest, convictions, that sort of thing. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
On the spot, don't move around too much, because you'll lose your signal. Thank you.
Okay.
So, ma'am, will you state your full name, please?
Amberlin Michelle Fauver.
Okay. And who are the children that we're here on?
Ellie Beck, Jace Beck, and Eris Beck.
Okay. And who's their father?
Eric Beck.
Okay. Is there any doubt about that?
No.
Okay. Let's talk about you and Mr. Beck for a minute. Did you and Mr. Beck live in Texas with the children at some point?
Yes. Just
when
one.
When was that?
2016 was when we were in Texas with our first child before we moved to Oklahoma.
Okay. The other two, and maybe, Your Honor, if I could have some guidance, I think that probably only checks the box for the first one.
Well, no, you can go ahead and they lived in Texas with the first one in 2016, and then you need to find out where they moved to and where they separated, and whether or not the children of everybody's here in the state of Texas with the knowledge and permission of the father. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Or the permission of the father. Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right. So let's talk about that. So the other two, where did you move after you were in Texas, Miss Fauver?
We moved to Oklahoma City.
Okay. And you were there until you separated, I take it?
Yes.
Okay. All right, when you separated, was Mr. Beck aware that you would be moving to Texas?
Yes.
Okay. Is it fair to say that he's the reason that you moved to Texas?
Yes.
Okay. And specifically, he put you in such a bad situation to where that was your best option available?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk some more about this. What are you doing for health coverage for the children?
Medicaid. They're all on
Okay,
Medicaid.
okay. Um, and Mr. Beck is still in Oklahoma, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So my request to the court is going to be that, and Mr. Beck, is he capable of working?
Yes.
Okay. He's not been incarcerated is really what I'm
No.
asking, or hospitalized. He's not been hospitalized since the youngest one was born.
I'm sorry.
Did you hear the question, Ms. Fauver?
No, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Has he been hospitalized since
No.
you separated? Okay. All right. So my request to the court is guideline child support based off of minimum wage, which would be $330 a month for the child support and $57 for the medical support. Do you have any objection to me requesting the court use those numbers?
No.
Okay. All right. And when did you and Mr. Beck separate?
The beginning of September of last year.
Okay.
Of 2023, yeah.
Okay. And so my request to the court is retroactive support going from October of last year, the beginning of October last year until today's date. And I calculate that at $4,164. And then I would request the court to order repayment at $75 a month. Do you have any objection to either of those numbers?
No.
All right. So let's talk about the possession and access. So I've just reported to the court that you're requesting just supervised visitation for Mr. Beck. Did I report correctly?
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about that. Has Mr. Beck been violent with you?
Yes.
All right. About approximately how many times over the course of your relationship would you say he was physically violent?
Over the course of relationship, I'd say about 20 to 30 times within a year.
Okay. Well, but so it was 20 to 30 times a year. You'd say he physically hit you, pushed you, struck you, something
Yeah.
along those lines. Okay.
Yeah.
When was the most recent incident of physical violence?
It'd be back in 2023 around July, June, July, May, around May.
Okay. I think your words to me was 6 months. You were 6 months pregnant.
Yeah.
Is that correct with the youngest?
Around 6, 7, yeah.
Okay. What did Mr. Beck do to you?
He shoved me to the ground a few times. He pushed me into the wall.
Okay. Did anything happen to the pregnancy because of that?
No.
All right. Were the police called?
On one account, yes.
Okay. When were the police called?
I think it was around the end of May when his sister attacked me and he attacked his sister and the police were called.
Okay, but that wasn't what he did to you. That was between
Yeah.
you and his sister, or not really you, his sister on you.
But
Okay.
that was when the police were called that time. But whenever
Okay.
he shoved me and pushed me, there was no police involved.
Okay. And we'll talk about the sister here in a minute, because I know you have concerns there too. What was the most severe thing you'd say that he did to you in the course of your relationship?
It would be back in 2020 or 2021 where we had a fight. He was kicking me out and I was trying to leave. And he shoved my daughter in the room and his sister went, and then they locked the door when I tried to get her. He body slammed me on the ground. He threw me around while everybody, which including his mom, his sisters, one of his sister's husband watched, and my son watched as he would throw me to the ground repeatedly. And
Okay. So the question is, why were the police not called on him? It sounds like you were willing to call the police on his sister, but not him.
I couldn't. I did not have my phone on me. I was in no state of calling the police. I actually honestly felt like if I did, it would have escalated more. So to diffuse the situation, I just sat it out, waited for everybody to calm down.
Okay. Does he have issues with substances?
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk to the court about that. Has he ever been to jail for drugs?
So far, he's only been in jail for marijuana.
Okay, and when was that?
And back in 2015.
Okay, and do you have reason to believe he's using harder drugs than marijuana?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what drugs do you have reason to believe he's using?
Methamphetamine and coke.
Okay, and how do you know this?
I went through his phone and I found messages between him and people exchanging information for buying coke, using coke.
Okay, and can you tell the court some of those details? My understanding was he was willing
willing
trading coke. Is that correct?
Yes, trade with coke and
Okay.
marijuana.
All right, and when did you become aware of these messages?
It was near the end of August, around
Okay,
September.
of last year.
Yeah.
All right, so
2023.
all right, so was that the final straw in the relationship? Was that when you
Yes.
decided to move out?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about, if the visitation package, is there, or actually let's talk about the sister first. Fair to say your request to the court would be that his sister is not to be permitted to accompany him on visits?
Yes.
Okay, what is her name?
Crystal Diggs.
Okay, so let's talk about, has she ever assaulted you?
I'm sorry, sir.
Has Miss Diggs assaulted you?
He has once before. He has also threatened to do so many times.
Okay, when did Miss Diggs assault you?
I would say around 2018 when she was living with us, when she had just gotten out of jail and was doing
Okay, but you said that in 2020, I thought it was 2023, the police were called. Was it 2018 when the police were called on her for assaulting you? Or is that something else?
Chasity is the one who assaulted me and punched me in the face when I was pregnant in 2023. She was the one who had the house raided in 2015 from drug use and selling drugs.
All right, so the issue with Crystal's more the drugs and her getting physically violent with you.
Yes.
All right, so Cassidy's the one who got violent with you. What's Cassidy's full name?
It's Chasity McKenna. I forgot her name.
Is McKenna the middle name or the last name?
I think it's the middle name.
All right, well, let's come back to that. Let's see if you can remember it. So maybe we need to request that but neither of them be permitted to visit. All right, so my request to the court, one of them will be that that communication be ordered through app close. Do you have any objection there?
No.
Okay.
And
yes, ma'am.
her name is Chasity Liebeck.
Okay, like Lee hyphen Beck, or Lee is the middle, Beck is the last?
Middle is Lee.
Okay. All right, so you don't want either one of them visiting?
She's fine. I trust her around the kids. It's the other one I don't trust.
Okay, so her taking a swing at you was a one-off?
Yeah.
Okay. What I take it, so where would you like the supervised visits to occur?
At my mother's address in Waco, the 3013 Opazin.
No, don't give the address out, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry about
sorry.
that. So actually, I think it's not in Waco. I think it's somewhere else in McLennan County. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And what type of notice would you like Mr. Beck to be ordered to give you before? Because you're still, I'm sorry, I should backtrack. You're still in Bell County, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So you've got to drive 45 minutes or an hour to get there?
Yes.
Okay, so what kind of notice should Mr. Beck be ordered to give you when he's planning on visiting? Would
Maybe like
7 days be enough, or should it be more?
yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay. All right. I guess just to drive the point home, you have real safety concerns with the family when they get together. Is that right? You don't want the
Yes.
children being around them?
Yes, I don't want them being around.
Okay. This is the last thing I'm going to ask, probably, unless the court wants more. But I think you told me that at some point the family drew knives on each other. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you tell the court what happened there?
It was back in 2018 or 2019. His sister Crystal Diggs got in a fight with Eric Beck, and her daughter Tristan Ryder was there. Basically a big confrontation got out. Also mother Sharon G was there. It got to the point to where Eric was talking to her. He was going to lay his hands on her. She pulled a knife, said she was going to stab him if he came near her. And that was kind of really it. No police were called. Sharon removed Crystal from the home to de-escalate the situation.
Okay. I mean, is that kind of how things went with her family? Is with his family, excuse me?
Yes, it was almost on a daily where they were constantly fighting and laying hands on each other and violence.
Okay. All right. I will pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am. Okay, give the court some idea where you've lived for the last 5 years. You said y'all were in Texas at one time. Did y'all move directly to Texas to Oklahoma City, or was that some other circumstance, ma'am, or some other places in between?
2016, near the middle of 2016 is when I moved to Oklahoma City with Eric Beck. I moved back in 2023.
Right. All right, and ma'am, and what were the circumstances that caused the breakup? What it did? I'm sorry, I understand that. Well, he knew you were coming back to Texas, or are you from Texas? What's that circumstance?
I was in Oklahoma City with him at the time of 2023. After I had the baby, which was in August of 2023, I seen his phone. I saw a message, and I seen all the messages of the drugs, the prostitution, and that's what led me to leave.
All right, and where are you from, ma'am, originally?
Texas.
All right, and you say you got family in McLennan County, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You have any other family anywhere else here in Texas?
Yes, I have a sister in Killeen. I have a stepdad in Belton, and I have cousins in Belton Temple, and basically everywhere.
All right then. And ma'am, since the separation, has the father come to Texas to visit the kids? Has he called? Has he done anything? What's he doing?
He's come to Texas one time back in 2023 around December to see the kids, but he did not see the kids. All he did was talk to me basically violently, and he was there for 4 hours between 11 to 2 a.m. with his mother, Sharon G. And then that was the last time that I have contact with him in person. In January, I still have the messages of when I last talked to him, where I was trying to work out something with him with the kids. And that's when he told me he didn't want anything to do with the kids. And that's when the last time I heard from him.
All right, thank you. Any other questions at this time, Mr. Diamond?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Diamond, and your requesting this to be the final order, is that correct, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then, does this, Ma'am, when is the last incident that you recall that he actually physically assaulted you at any time, ma'am? When's the last time that happened?
2023 in May.
Okay. And go with that incident with one more time, please. I want to make sure I got the right one because you had a lot of them in there. I want to make sure that I got this one
Yeah.
in hierarchy. Thank you.
I had found trying to remember what it was. We're talking about text messages between him and somebody, and it got in a situation to where I tried leaving, packing, and he threw me outside, locked the door, and then we let me back in. He shoved me into the wall, and it led to the kitchen where he shoved me on the floor. And that's really all the times he laid his hands on me.
And this has been a persistent pattern throughout your relationship with this gentleman. Is that correct, ma'am?
Yes, for the past 13 years.
All right. All right, Ms. Diamond, I'm going to go ahead and look at naming. I'm going to find that you got the necessary long-arm jurisdiction, that the children are here with dad's technically consent. He's come to Texas to visit them, so I got jurisdiction on him, no problem about that. He lived in Texas with one child, and that's good enough for this. I'm gonna go ahead and grant I'm gonna name the mom sole MC. I'm gonna name him the possessory conservator. I'm going to order before he has before he has any type of custody or be able to take the children off, he's going to have to pass a drug testing of the courts under the court's discretion. And right now, I'm going to make that both. He has to pass both a long-term and a short-term testing. So I'm looking at urinalysis and hair follicle and or fingernail before the court's going to give him that type of access. For right now, I'll go ahead and order that he can have electronic visits with the children going forward. But he has to give mom at least I'll give him a Sunday visitation electronically with the children every Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Time. But he has to give mom notification that he's going to do to exercise that visitation. And I'm going to go ahead and order that the parties be placed on app close. Ma'am, I want all communications going forward need to be through the parenting app. App close is a free app, so I'm going to go ahead and allow you to download that to your phone and set up the account. And again, he's allowed every Sunday to talk to the kids via FaceTime on app close has a FaceTime function or just a regular phone function. So he's allowed to do that, but he has to let her know at least by the prior Thursday that he's going to do that Sunday visit. Otherwise, at that time, mom has to have the children available for that electronic visit. I'm gonna go ahead and order that if he wishes to see the children in person, he has to give mom notice at least 10 days in advance by app close that he's coming to Texas. And once that she sends that 10-day, he sends her that 10-day notice that he wants to see the kids. She is to set up. She has 48 hours to set up the proper set up the visitation at her mother's residence and give him the information on how he can get there. I'll go ahead and order guideline child support based on the circumstances and the guideline cash medical. As far as retro, I'll go ahead and grant the 12-month and order repayment on the child support at an additional $100 a month. This is obviously a minimum wage presumption of circumstance. I will order that the father be responsible for any court costs as billed by Bell County, and he has until September 30th of 2025 to pay that off in full if so billed. So at this time, Mr. Diamond, is there anything else that I'm going to need to rule on this one, sir?
Possibly, Your Honor. As far as the visitation, was there a specific day or time that the court wanted those mother to set up those visitations? Because
okay, I'm sorry. Of the specific time he has to ask for something outside the school week. So he has to ask for them either on Saturday or Sundays for 4 hours, and he has to give her, like I said, at least that. I'm going to make it 14 days notice that he's going to come. He wants to come down and visit with the kids and mom, and within about the 10th day out, before the 10th day out, mom is to get back with him with the location and the place. And he can, like I say, he can have up to 4 hours if so requested.
And that's once a month, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Those are my questions.
All right, then. All right, anything else then, at this point, any questions, Ms. Fauver?
No, sir.
All right, then, I say I'll leave, again, and I'll name the dad possessory conservator, but for right now, based on these circumstances, until I get some testimony from him and some serious investigation, and those drug testing done, I'm only gonna give him the right, the obligation under Texas law to pay child support and cash medical, and the right to electronically visit with the children, and those personal visits, as the court has already delineated in the earlier part of this ruling. So the only thing under those are only rights under possessory conservatorship. All of the rights are reserved until the court gets its drug testing. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right. So at this time, may Ms. Fauver be excused, or do you need her to wait around until you try to get this one? Because this is going to take a while to draw up, Mr. Diamond. But does she? So can she be excused, or do you need her to wait around, sir?
My preference, Your Honor, would be if she can stick around. I mean, we have pretty standard language for most of this, and I can tweak it. So I think I could probably have the order out in 20 minutes if the court would allow.
All right, then, ma'am, you need to hang around so Mr. Diamond can send you that, and the court can look at signing off on this later today. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much. And at this time, we're off the record.